Hi, I'm Christy Whitman, celebrity coach and New York Times bestselling author, and I'm so excited to tell you about my new book being released on September 25th. It's called Quantum Success in Your Career: 7 Essential Laws for a Thriving, Joyful, and Prosperous Relationship with Work and Money. I want to share with you one of the principles that I teach in the book with a special guest that I think you'll love. Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments below and enjoy.
A brand new book by New York Times bestselling author Christy Whitman. World-renowned guests speak with Christy to share their insights for you, focusing on one word based on the principles of this book. Prepare to be inspired. Quantum Success. Christy's guest is Ike Allen, and today's word is release.
Hello, everybody. This is Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And as you can see, I have a friend with me today. This is Ike Allen, and he is the spiritual director of Enlightenment Village and founder of AVAIYA Media. Enlighten Village and AVAIYA create positive films and books and courses such as The Course in Miracles, the movie, The Tao of Quantum Physics, which I love, Leap, A Quantum Awakening, The Truth About Prosperity, and so much more. So within the Enlightenment Village membership community, Ike uses his intuitive ability to rapidly uncover what people truly want and the core story that's limiting them in any area of their lives. Using his laser-like ability, Ike holds a clearing to help people step into who they really are and what their most natural expression in this world is. So Ike, I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me, Christy.
Absolutely. So you have a lot that you've accomplished, and it must feel really amazing to be behind such, conscious films as this. It's not like you're in Hollywood and making, boom, boom, shoot 'em dead, kind of movies, but you're really creating a movement and creating movies that open people's minds and have more awareness and consciousness. So that must feel amazing to be able to have that gift to do that.
It is. It's nice that the majority of the feedback we get is thank you, thank you, thank you. You've given me a new perspective. You've shown me a new way to look at life. You've inspired me. Yeah, it's not bad getting a lot of positive feedback.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, what does success look like for you? Because in the book, Quantum Success, I talk about how it's not just a linear step-by-step process, that you can really tap into the quantum field. So what does that look like in your life? How do you define success?
Right. Well, the number one thing I say about success for me is freedom. And then I get very specific. I love to feel free, sort of like an artist. I love to be free. I love to be free to go to the beach. We live close to the beach, go to the beach whenever I want to go to the beach. I love to be free to say no to some people. Yes, I say yes to many things in my life, but sometimes things come up and I can say no to them. So the biggest thing success is for me is freedom. I can go, right? I can get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Freedom, I don't mean like sitting on my butt all the time. Sometimes I wake up at 2 a.m. and I say, I'm going to go create something around A Course in Miracles, or I'm going to go create something around prosperity. So sometimes freedom looks like the freedom to get up at 2 a.m. and I don't have to wait for the office building to open. I can go do something whenever I want because I'm free, even to work at 2 a.m. on something that I am suddenly so inspired and motivated to do.
I love that. Freedom is my burning essence and passion and in feeling sense too. Without freedom, I feel, and when I have that sense of freedom and I have that in my life, so I can do what I want to do. I can go where I want to go. I can work when I want to work. I can work out when I want to work. And having that choice of how I spend my time, what I put on my calendar, what I say yes to, what I say no to, I just can't. I can't think of a better feeling. So I'm grateful that you brought up that in the discussion. So was there a turning point for you in your life where you didn't feel that sense of freedom and that major contrast really gave way to knowing that freedom was your kind of guidepost and now that you're in that space, you're grateful for that certain time or, something that contributed to that?
Yes. Oh, everybody has something. So for me, it was the culmination of everything crumbling, right? And many of us have the stories of our lives crumbling. And I was in a corporate job. I was making great money. I had the gold card, right? It all looked fabulous. I was married, and we put up the appearance of it was all fabulous. Everything looked wonderful, but right, as many of us can relate to, behind the scenes, that is not what was going on, Christy, right? I had this image of how my life was going to be, but it was time to just sort of release the reins, let things go, and really let everything crumble. And it did. Bankruptcy, divorce, legal issues, leaving the job, everything crumbled. And it was obviously, it's very easy to tell myself that this sucks, it's not going to get better, it's wrong, this part of the journey of my life shouldn't be this way, right? It shouldn't look this way. And then I found the more I would just sort of let go, the more I would release my expectations about how my life should look, everything did crumble. But inside that space, my sense of awareness, my passion to create, everything turned around. And it did take time. And it was sort of like that success thing. It was little leaps of success. And now I carry no debt. I tell people that. It's not a bragging thing. We pay cash for everything. Everything we do is cash, cash, cash. My life is better. Andy, her and I have been together for 8 years. My kids are wonderful. My ex-wife and I get along great. My credit is fabulous again. And just that everything turned around, but it took releasing the reins, right? As Joseph Campbell says, you have to be willing to give up the life you planned in order to live the life that's waiting for you. But when I gave up, thinking I knew what was best and everything was going to work out, everything crumbled, and it did work out. I love my life now.
That's beautiful. Well, you mentioned release, and that's one of the words I wanted to talk to you about. So how does release relate to success for you, for example, to release those rules and circumstances that defined you? And more importantly, how do you do it? 'Cause some people say, well, letting go is scary, or releasing something is scary because we want to create something new. But in order to bring in something new, we have to release that which doesn't serve us anymore. So what is your process for releasing?
My process is pretty simple because it's based on past experience. And it is to have faith that everything will work out, and to have faith that I don't need to know how everything's going to work out. That is the number one release for me. It's trusting the universe, God, the quantum wave field, however we'd all like to look at it. I believe that it will work out. And inside that space, sometimes I have to tell myself that many times. Keep the faith, like keep right. I'm not going, oh, it'll all work out perfectly every time. And the nudging is in there saying, don't take a chance. Don't let go. Hold on to what you know. Hold on to what works for you. Like hold on to it. Do not let go of the reins. There's that little voice that says, but Ike, you're in control of everything, right? So let me show you. There's the one voice that says, right, let me show you the way. And I know what's right for you. And then there's the other voice that says, let me show you the way and everything will be wonderful. And I try to listen, keep practicing listening to that voice. And the more I release my idea or my urge to grab a hold of something that looks familiar, the more I find new things are presented to me that I could have never expected. And my life is even, just even more exciting and fun and playful and financially successful.
Absolutely. So it's interesting because you went from a person that had it all, right, on the outside looking in, right? And then you had to go through this time where it was like, you had to release what other people's opinions were going to be, because I've done the whole perfect picture thing, look perfect on the outside, but just get miserable on the inside. Or like you're saying, it doesn't look like it's basically, it's not on a solid foundation. And to release all that is also to release the good opinions of others and how they're going to perceive you and all of the, the shoulds that happen. So was that a process that you had to do, or was it just like, here we are, we got to do it?
No, it kept, right, the poop ball kept rolling down the hillside, and it was, every corner. Imagine going through a divorce with 2 young kids. Imagine, leaving your corporate job. Imagine all these, and people are talking and things are happening. And I had to keep releasing my expectations about how people were going to treat me. I had to keep releasing the idea that I was going to save the marriage, the job, the finances, whatever. it was not, it was a constant. Release is the perfect word, because even today, I must keep releasing the reins, release the reins, release my ideas. I think too many times we have ideas about how things should be. And we find in life, the more we release our expectations, the more exciting new things come in. But it's still a practice. It was a practice back then. It was not easy. Sometimes people say, I was on an interview recently and someone said to me, well, why do you think it was so easy for you? And I was like, why do I guess we're having two different perceptions here. It wasn't easy, and it still sometimes isn't easy to keep releasing my ideas about how my 13-year-old should be, right? How my 10-year-old should be, how my neighbor should be, how the weather should be, how the humidity should be today. So it's like being a doctor or a lawyer, releasing and living into inspiration, or, God or whatever, or your divine calling. It's a practice. It's something like going to the gym. We must exercise that muscle of letting go over and over again. And the more I believe we let go, we get called into something greater. And then it's right, get off our butt and walk, move your feet into the step. But release is a constant practice. It's like breathing, right? There are so many things that can rile us up. Our relationships, the ones we love, the ones we don't know, like Byron Katie says, the ones we don't know we love yet, right? Yes. It's a constant release. Release is a moment by moment practice. And it is not always easy, but the more we practice it, like anything, the easier it appears to get.
Absolutely. I love that you say that, because it can look really easy to someone else, but they don't necessarily live inside of us and know the inner work that we're having to do, or it's okay, it's all going to turn out 1,000 times in our head while we're, freaking out and releasing the energy of that. So it's interesting how others can perceive us, like you make it look so easy when it's like, it wasn't.
My skin felt like it was burning, my dear lady. It was not easy, but hey, if you can see that it was easy, hold on to that perception, and maybe your journey of turmoil will be easier for you. And That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you this. I know a lot of times people think, well, I got to have a positive attitude all the time, especially during times when you're going through a divorce, or you're going through the things that we can categorize as really big things that are big contrasts, whether it's the death of a loved one or a bankruptcy, or, whether it's financially, your career, your body, the health, so how important is it, and how important was it for you to keep a positive mental attitude while you were going through that time?
Well, what I could say was, the more positive and the more faith I had, the more I trusted that it would all work out perfectly, the more enjoyable even the turmoil seemed to be. And at the same time, I did not maintain a positive attitude all the time. So I think there's something for sort of having breakdowns, right? Mini breakdowns, or confronting, okay, I cannot let go of how upset I am with situation X right now. And so maybe go into it. I would go into it sometimes, and then I'd release it and get back to the positive attitude, because living in the victim mode, right, living in the negativity, maybe people can come out of it, but I like to visit it in short bursts, let it go, release my rant, and then get back to being positive. Because, especially if you want help from people like to help happy people. People like to help people that are motivated, right? People like to team up on ventures with exciting, positive, happy people. So the more positive I am, the further I get along in life, easier, or so it appears to my perception.
Well, you talk about energy, and obviously you're aware of energy, and you have a very amazing gift that I'm excited to talk to you about, where you do a V.I.B.E session with yourself and Joe Dispenza. And so I'd love to talk to you. What do you do to get yourself in a higher vibration?
What do I do? I think it's sort of like releasing. It's a moment to moment perspective. Like Christy, I could also say I live from inspiration. I do everything from inspiration. If I'm inspired to get up at 2 a.m., probably my greatest practice is to follow inspiration and get off my butt the moment I feel or sort of hear that voice saying, go to the gym, or call that person and see if they want to create a product together or whatever. I try to get in. I try to act. I don't act unless I feel inspired, but the moment I feel inspired, I get in action.
We're talking about the exact principles that are in Quantum Success, and my book is coming out, is that I say the keys to success is really alignment and then momentum. So when you're talking about that inspired action, you have to be aligned in order to feel inspired, right? And then that inspiration will feed you and inform you as to what action to take to create the momentum.
Right. And right. The more we do that, the more it's just like the gym or anything, right? The more you're exercising that muscle and the more it keeps turning over. Inspiration, action, right? And then people look at us and say, well, it's so effortless for you. No, we are in such heavy momentum of inspiration and action. It looks seamless to you. The seams are there. We just don't see them or even look at them anymore, right? We don't even look at them anymore.
Absolutely. It's what you now know. Because 20 years ago, I did not know that. And it was, struggle, pain, force, and had a lot of moments of that in those 20 years. But it's like when I can really align with what the desire that I have and the essence of that. So if someone wants something, what is the real essence of it? So I love that you brought up immediately freedom, because that's always my guiding essence. It's how can I feel free in my mindset? How can I feel free in moving towards a workshop I'm doing? How can I feel free in creating the book that I'm creating? And then taking that momentum based on the energy that I attune myself with, right? That I make it through.
Yeah.
So
and it's not always easy, but it's fun, right? It's once one gets into that flow, right? I mean, right. The passion, right? People say, do what you love and the money will follow. I mean, if we do what we love and we're willing to, right, take the steps, it can work. Maybe you're at a job for now, but, start creating a plan over here in my opinion, and start moving toward what inspires you and do the work on the side or whenever. And I got there. I've seen plenty of people get there. You got there. We can get there, but we do have to do what we're passionate about and put the bag of the Doritos down and get off the couch. And you can. Eventually, your friends are looking at you saying, hey, Billy, your life seems so easy. It seems so seamless. You just keep turning over deals and creating products and living the life of your dreams, and that it seems so easy. And now, Billy, now you're one of us. Yeah. The seams are there. We just don't see them.
Absolutely. You just brought up something that I remember when I was in corporate America, and it was my last corporate job. And I didn't like my job. I didn't like my boss. I didn't like going into an office. I mean, there were so many, I could write a list of things I didn't like, but I spent my time not focusing on those things. I would focus on what did inspire me and what I could be grateful for and appreciative, that I made great money, that I had nights and weekends off to do coaching and to do speaking, to do things that I knew I was moving towards, because I looked at this vision of what I wanted and felt myself in that vision. And even though my now reality didn't reflect it, I would get myself in that state. So I at least was satisfied in finding the positive aspects about where I was, so that I could then, with inspiration, with that momentum, create myself quitting and starting my own business and thriving in my own business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, people look at us at this point and say, but you did it. But yeah, we all, not many people got there effortlessly. There's challenges, but when you're doing what you love, folks, you're willing to be up at 2 a.m. You're willing to get up an hour early before you go to your regular job to work on that book or to work on that course or to work on that speech or to work on that lawn chair business, right? There's so many awesome side hustles that you can do in the world, right? There's podcasts on it. There's so many exciting things people can do on the side. But you got to get up an hour early or stay up an hour late. You got to turn off the TV. You got to make it happen. Find what you're passionate about. If it's making lawn furniture, dear God, start making lawn furniture. Even if you make one chair a month, make one chair a month.
Yes, I love that. My book, Quantum Success, and most of the books I download through me, was on a cruise ship at 3 a.m. Now, it certainly was not convenient to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning when the rest of my family was sleeping, and I had to go literally in the only place that I could turn light on, and that was in the bathroom. And even a cruise ship that has a really nice, suite, it's a small bathroom. So crouched in the bathroom, sitting with my journal, feverishly writing with a very thin towel under my butt. I still got up and my butt was like, numb, and that wasn't convenient. but I was willing to do what it took because I was willing to take that momentum, because that in my head, I felt inspired by it. I had to get up and create the momentum of writing it and then take each of the steps to do it. And sometimes it meant, not doing something else, but dedicating what I wanted to do. And that was to get this book out so it could help more people and that they could understand this formula. So I really appreciate this discussion. It's amazing. And I hope it's going to help a lot of people.
Absolutely. And I love your metaphor because it's so key for people to get that it doesn't necessarily look the way you think. It may, in fact, look like sitting on a toilet with a thin towel underneath you, but you're driven right by your passion. Everything doesn't look the way people think it does. But when I'm powered by passion, if the sun's beating down or whatever, it's irrelevant, because what I'm really focused on is creating this V.I.B.E session or creating this book or whatever it is, Yes.
So talk about the V.I.B.E session, because I know you have a free gift for everybody, which I absolutely appreciate. First of all, you being here and imparting your wisdom and your experience so that others can go, wow, if he did it and she did it, maybe I could do it too, right? Just that level of inspiration that we're talking about. But also to be so giving and generous and giving this gift. So would you talk about the V.I.B.E session?
Absolutely. Now, I have made many things that I love, but this V.I.B.E technology that we've created, I love it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful on an oral level. It's beautiful on a visual level. So what this particular session that we're offering is, it's called Visually Interlaced Brainwave Entrainment. Big mouthful, or V.I.B.E for short.
I like V.I.B E.
So there it is. Let's narrow it down to V.I.B E. Let's build a beautiful, shiny, glorious acronym. Is that right? Acronym?
Yeah, that's right.
Reel me in, Christy. And so this is Joe Dispenza, one of my favorite people of my list of thousands and thousands and thousands, perhaps millions or billions of favorite people. It's myself and Joe, and we are talking about who am I, which ties in with release so well. We have a lot of ideas about who we are, but who am I? And so there's visuals on the screen. There's CGI, computer-generated imagery, moving and shifting and turning. It's blending in with the actual visual imagery of Joe and myself talking about who am I and that we're greater than what we think we are. It has this thing we call aurascapes in there, so it blends this melodic music. It has brainwave entrainment audio in there. It has this thing we call array text, so there's text, design. There's so many things going on, and we're giving away the video and the audio, and we also give it away with and without the brainwave entrainment, because some people say binaural beats, are like too intense for them if they're very sensitive to it. So we give it out so you can get all of those things. And the design of it is that there's so much going on. So that was my phone. There's so much going on that you can watch it again and again. You're getting different pieces. You can't even see all the text that's appearing and fading on the screen, telling you you're beautiful and you're awesome and you're everything you can imagine that you're being. Joe's voice and my voice is blending in and out. The computer imagery is blending in and out. The nature sounds, from birds to frogs to wind chimes, it blends in and out. So it really is sort of this, let's call it this buffet, this Las Vegas-sized buffet of transformation in a 10-minute visual and or audio experience. And it is just beautiful is the best way to put it. Joe's beautiful. I compliment him fairly well, but he's just a beautiful human being. And if you're looking to transform your consciousness and to take that tiny little monkey mind and push it off to the side because you're just mesmerized by the inspirational beauty, this is yeah, as you can see, I have passion for this, yes. Christy.
Yes.
I have passion for it. I just think it's such a loving, lovely example of what's possible in an infinite world of possibility.
I just love that. And I feel expanded just by your description of it. So I'm like, I can't wait to get my own hands on it. And what I love about it is it's not an hour. It's not 2 hours. It's not it's a 10-minute process that we don't have to do anything. We just watch it for 10 minutes. So yes. Who doesn't have 10 minutes, that they can actually invest in themselves to do this? So thank you for your generosity. I'm going to put a link underneath the video. So if you're wondering where it is, just look right below the video, click on that. All the information will be there so that you can receive the gift that Ike is giving everybody today. So Ike, any other last parting words that you want to say before we go?
Christy, I'd just like to thank you and say that you are fun to play around with.
Aw, thank you. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. And thanks for letting me talk about release, because it is such a wonderful concept of letting go, right? Releasing our expectations and opening up to a whole new world of possibilities. So thanks for putting another great, fabulous book out into the world.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for being here. And thank you for the work that you do in the world. It's a pleasure to serve as a light worker next to you. So thank you. Let us know what you're taking away. Leave us a comment. Let us know. And I would love to hear what you feel after you download or after you look at this video. I mean, it's not a video. It's just a brain entrainment. So let me know. Come back and let me know what you're taking away, how you shifted, what you noticed within yourself, because I always love that feedback. So let's continue the conversation. Ike, thank you so much. Everybody have an amazing week. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought. Leave me a comment below and be sure to share and tag your friends. If you like more information on the book, go ahead and click here or in the link in the description below. And be sure to check out my other videos here and on this site.